Yeah, hi folks. Yes, it's never been about if, it's always been about when New Zealand would get its first Islamic terrorist attack. That is, one they couldn't pretend away. But as per usual, our two biggest propaganda media outlets couldn't say the words Islamic terrorist. But at least News Hub got closer to the mark. But first I'll start this off with One News and how Ardern plays down Islamic responsibility.
First, we begin with political editor Jessica Mudge Mackay and the attacker known to authorities, Jess.
That's right, Wendy. We've just wrapped up an update from the Prime Minister and the Police Commissioner on this significant story. The man was originally from Sri Lanka. He moved to New Zealand in 2011 and he was on the government's watch list from 2016. So he has been monitored and known to authorities for the last 5 years. Now, the reason he raised suspicion and raised concerns with police and other authorities was because he was viewed as a violent extremist because of his ISIS-inspired views and because of his violent ideology. He was known to the Prime Minister. Here is what Jacinda Ardern had to say.
What happened today was despicable. It was hateful. It was wrong. It was carried out by an individual.
It was carried out by an individual.
Not a faith.
Not a faith.
Not a culture.
Not a culture.
An ethnicity.
Not an ethnicity. Wow, so he could have been a white European Christian then.
But an individual person who was gripped by ideology that is not supported here by anyone or any community. He alone carries the responsibility for these acts. Let that be where the judgment falls.
Yeah, so why didn't you apply the same standard in Christchurch then, instead of blaming certain white people? Yeah, now contrast how One News started their segment with this.
Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. We warn you the images and sounds in this lead story could be distressing. A lone man yelling Allahu Akbar ran...
A lone man yelling Allahu Akbar. Not once did I hear that on One News.
...ran through a West Auckland supermarket this afternoon, stabbing people before he was shot dead. Witnesses say it was a horrifying experience that came as a complete shock. 6 people were injured in the attack, 3 of them critically. The Prime Minister called the man a violent extremist who was ISIS-inspired. The attack happened in West Auckland at the Countdown supermarket in the Lynn Mall shopping complex. Mike McRoberts has the story.
The unmistakable sound of terror, shoppers fleeing for their lives, as emergency vehicles rushed to the scene.
This car park went pretty crazy. People were pretty much driving into each other almost to get out of the car park.
Yeah, there was a big bang. I didn't think nothing of it. And then, everybody just started running.
An eyewitness who'd been shopping at Lynn Mall's Countdown saw the first attack unfold.
And then there's this random guy. He just went Allahu Akbar and started stabbing. There's these 2 ladies, white ladies in front of me. He just went started stabbing me. They went Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then I just realized after that, oh my God, I have to run.
She was lucky. The camo-dressed attacker ran past her before he stabbed 4 others, and panic took hold of the shopping complex.
It was just chaos. People just started screaming. And I think it took a while when they just realized, oh my God, there is an attack here,
I was just in there getting my COVID vaccine. And then we were waiting outside of the pharmacy, still inside the mall. And then we heard that someone was getting stabbed. And everyone kind of panicked, but everyone was just sitting down. Everyone was pretty calm. And then we heard about 6 or 7 gunshots. And everyone just kind of freaked out. Everyone ran into the pharmacy.
Multiple gunshots were heard, and later police confirmed the man was shot dead. Of his 6 victims, 3 are in a critical condition.
Now, as of at the moment, I haven't heard anything about those people.
And 2 in a moderate condition. The Prime Minister leaving little doubt this was a terror attack.
This afternoon at approximately 2:40 p.m, a violent extremist
Wow, a violent extremist. That's the best she can do.
undertook a terrorist attack on innocent New Zealanders in the Newland countdown in Auckland.
Other shoppers tried to stop the man before he could hurt anyone else.
A lot of people ran up to me and said, just run, just run. There's a guy there stabbing everyone. And then I walked to the next aisle and I saw a lady lying on the floor. And then I saw the guy with the knife and he's like, Allah, Allah, with the knife up like that.
They say it was an undercover cop who put an end to the trauma.
And he's like, I'm an undercover cop, get back, I'm going to shoot him. And then I just stepped back and then he started bang like five, 6 shots and he was laying on the floor.
The countdown and local chemist sheltered terrified people throughout the ordeal.
I'm satisfied, based on the information available to me, that the staff involved did not only what we expect they would do in this situation, but did it with great courage.
Numerous inquiries are underway. Least of all, how could this have happened?
And Mike joins us now from New Lynn. Kia ora, Mike. If the terrorist was being so closely followed by undercover officers, how was he able to attack others before officers stopped him?
Kia ora, Melissa. Well, we heard from the Police Commissioner, Andrew Costa, there, say that the attacker had been under surveillance for some time and was very surveillance aware. So the police detail that was following him, that were following him today, couldn't get too close for fear of tipping him off. They were close enough to hear the attack begin and close enough to end it in 60 seconds. But look, that will come as little comfort for the 6 he wounded today, including the 3 who are in critical condition tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That excuse from the police was pathetic.
Mike, this has all come as a terrible shock to all New Zealanders, but in particular those out west. What is the mood out there like tonight?
Well, it's a mood of shock and disbelief. How could this have happened? You might be able to see still on the road leading into the mall, very heavily guarded by police tonight. Remember that Auckland is on alert level 4 COVID restrictions, so that meant all the shoppers in the supermarket, there are only one from each household. They had to deal with this on their own, and we saw them fleeing from the supermarket and the mall on their own. And once again, I want to reiterate the praise that we've heard today for those staff within Countdown and also the local chemist who took shelter and got people away from danger and kept them safe.
Mike McRoberts, thanks for those latest developments. And armed police have blocked the road leading to a nearby mosque. Edward O'Driscoll is there. Ed, what have you been seeing?
Well, Melissa, I'm standing at the end of Waikaukau Road in Glen Eden at the moment, and about 200 metres away is the Masjid-e-Bilal Mosque. As you can see behind me, there are armed police blocking the road at the moment, and as we've been standing here, they've been checking the details of any residents coming in and out, both on cars and on the footpath as well, and those people are looking very confused and wondering what is going on. We aren't allowed down there at all, but we have been sent pictures into the newsroom of what looks like armed police doing some sort of sweep of the building. I've been speaking tonight to the father of the chairman of the mosque, and while he didn't know too many details, he did tell me that his son and a few others have been let into the building and are speaking to police. So clearly this mosque is forming part of the investigation tonight, and it looks like police will be here for some time.
Now, One News barely mentioned that mosque.
Edward O'Driscoll, thanks for joining us. And to Parliament now, where political editor Tova O'Brien is standing by. She was at the Prime Minister's press conference. Tova, how much do we know about this man and why he was in the community?
Well, I think your second question, Mel, is what everyone is demanding to know, especially given that what we do know is that this man was on the radar of police and intelligence agencies. He was on a terror watch list. He's been under surveillance since 2016. We do know that he's a Sri Lankan national, that he's been in the country since 2011. We don't know if he also has New Zealand citizenship, but the Prime Minister gave the impression that agencies have been working to try and have him deported.
Now, they've been following him around for 5 years and they still haven't deported him. Now, I wonder why Matthew Tukaki hasn't started a petition.
Although News Hub knows who this man is, he has recently been through the courts and is subject to a suppression order, so we can't tell you more about his history. But that suppression order is something that the Prime Minister and the government is currently working on having lifted. The Prime Minister says she's developed a timeline showing that this man's all of his interactions with all of the government agencies that he's been in contact with, and she's working to be able to release that to the public. The man had Islamic State-inspired ideologies. He's been under 24/7 surveillance, and both the Prime Minister and the Police Commissioner today reassured the public, said this man was a lone wolf actor. They're not looking for anyone else in relation to this incident, and they wanted to assure the public that there is no risk anymore.
Yeah, now folks, on a different note, I've been trying to upload a propaganda video on hate speech by Patrick Gower, which actually relates to this video as well. But for some strange reason, YouTube doesn't allow it.